What's up, everybody? We had an awesome PCP movie night tonight on the journey to Batman vs. Superman, and we stopped along the way to revisit Superman 2. Alright, Superman 2, on the rewatch, yeah, is very dated. It's a dated film, you know, it was done in 1980, whatever it was, right? But I think some of the themes still hold true. I think of the time it had some fantastic special effects. It was nowhere near Star Wars level like the first film. It seemed like it was a little rushed, you know, but there was a lot of stuff involved in that. John's going to get into that a little bit later. I like the movie. I think it's actually better than the first Superman film, and I love Richard Donner. And I really like the Donner cut of this film better than the Richard Lester cut. But the Donner cut still has the stupid ending where he turns the world back around. And this has the dumb ending where he kisses Lois and she forgets everything. I like the movie. I think it really holds up. I'm interested to know what these guys have to think about it. So first of all, Jason from RCR, thanks for being with us, man. What'd you think about the movie on the rewatch?
Only way you can really sum up is Neo before Zod.
Terrence Stamp as General Zod is fantastic. This movie is so good because the villains are fantastic. And they go through all this trouble in superhero movies today to like give the villains like meaning and reason and definition, right? These guys are just bad guys. They want to rule. That's how simple comic book villains were back then. These guys translated that so perfectly. Terrence Stamp is perfect as Zod.
Simple is best. You want a villain to show up, just wreck house, and then leave. You don't need some elaborate scheme to try to take over the world. They just showed up, showed they were toughest. We're in charge now. Cool. Cut dry. One thing I really liked about it was I liked Superman's whole, like, trying to figure out how he should tell Lois. He decided not to, obviously. But, like, his whole thing with her, like, well, you know my secret now. I guess I'll marry you, or whatever he decided to do.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'll give him my powers for you. It was cool. It was good. One thing I didn't like is I didn't like Metropolis people. They were just too flip-floppy. 1 second they're ready to die for him, and then they're just like, oh, Superman abandoned us? He stinks.
John, tell me a little bit about what you thought about the movie and some fun facts about the movie.
I enjoyed the movie. It's a fun film. It's a good follow-up sequel. You're right. It is better than the first one, in my opinion.
The Godfather 2 of superhero movies.
Yeah, it's not without its flaws, but it's a good film. They did a good job. Again, Donner, we're talking about this. Richard Donner originally directed. He was doing both at the same time, 1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
And then he had some falling out with the producers. Richard Lester actually comes in and has to redo a lot of the film. Some stuff they kept. And some stuff they didn't reshoot, and obviously the stuff with Gene Hackman was originally shot.
Yeah, they say that Donner said he did 75% of the film, but in order for Lester to get full credit as the director, he had to do 51%.
Yeah, so he did some additional stuff
Gene
that wasn't in the original script.
And he even reshot some of Donner's footage.
Yeah,
like the fight scene. The fight scene's completely different in the Donner cut, if you look at it.
There was originally in the script too, there was an additional villain that didn't make it. It was a prankster.
Oh, the prankster.
Yeah, and the original script also explained how he gets his powers back, but they never even shot that. Because it would be cool to see that. Because you don't. He's like, I got the green thing, and then boom, he's got his powers back.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to kind of see that. But I guess maybe it would have ran the film too long.
Yeah, and in the Donner cut, it's because he gives up his powers. I mean, he gets his powers back, but he gives up the chance to ever talk to his father again. Which I think is very...
Yeah, and you don't actually have Brando in this one at all, despite the fact that he still got residuals from Superman 2 because he signed a contract.
Yeah.
And he still got his money from Superman 2. And then, like you were saying 1980. It came out in Europe in 1980 and actually released in the States in 1981.
81.
So that's weird that Europe got it before us. Is Europe that big into Superman?
And that big of a deal? Like 6 months later.
The American way, and yet we got it we're talking
about 6 months later. Yeah, this movie came out before I was born, but in America it came out when I was like a month old. You know, and it's just crazy.
Had that happened at today's age, we've already had bootlegs. We went to the theater and seen it.
Yeah.
we've already been done with it.
Anyway, themes in this movie. Well, we went over in the last film, Superman 1, how there's a very Christ-like mythology that is applied to Superman. You know, there's Moses, there's Horus, there's all these sacrificial sun god messiah types throughout mythology that Superman represents, and it's really prevalent with Christ. I mean, in the first film, he's flying to Earth, you know, in a Christmas ornament. Like, why did they change the ship so drastically to make it look straight up, like you said when we watched the last film, like a Christmas ornament.
Yeah, it looks like a tree topper.
Well, it's the Christmas star. You know, and there's so many little things that you can pick out and look forward to a super mythology coming sometime soon about Superman and his relationship to the messianic and the sun god type figures. But I think the big thing, and this applies to the Christ mythology, sacrifice. Okay? If you've ever seen the film Last Temptation of Christ by Scorsese, you might get what I'm saying. This movie could be called The Last Temptation of Superman. He is, in the first movie, he kind of accepts his role in the world, right? Until he gets confronted by temptation. And it's not that having a normal life and falling in love is a bad thing or anything like that, but he is meant to do more. He's meant to belong to the world. He's meant to save the world. But he gives that up for a life of peacefulness, tranquility, just normality, right? He just, I want to be normal like everyone else, and it bites him in the ass. It backfires because immediately after, Zod and his crew invade the Earth, and he has to go back and try to do what he can to get his power back, because now he realizes that he was meant to be Superman. So it's about the sacrifice. You can't have everything you want in life at times to be what you need, but at the same time, think about this. He would not have been fully who he, Kal-El, is as an individual if he would have just given up his powers to be this normal guy. John, what about some of the themes in this movie?
Well, other than the giving up, he did sacrifice, and then he gives up being Superman to be with Lois. I don't see why he can't have his cake and eat it too, but anyway. And then he gives that up to save the world. I mean, he's willing to sacrifice what he really wants. And
instantaneously, he doesn't even, but when okay, that aside, like, he could possibly be with her. If you have the Kevin Smith logic, he can't.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe that's what they're going with. He's a godlike figure, and she's a human woman, so he has to become human in order to live a life with her, a human life with her. And so I think it makes sense that he has to sacrifice an element to get it back, but I really like that he immediately, without hesitation, chooses to go back. Like, there are no regrets.
I thought he regretted it immediately after he got his ass kicked in the diner. This was a mistake.
Yeah. It didn't have anything to do with saving the world. It had to do with looking bad in front of his lady. Anyway, speaking of looking bad in front of your lady, Mark Lanier is having to look bad in front of our ladies very much. I don't know what that means. Anyway, Mark,
I thought it was Jason, though.
Jason, anyway.
It's all weird.
tell us what you think about some of the themes in the movie.
Well, back to the sacrifice. Well, back to the Christ-like imagery. One was just really blunt and out there. Was during the fight with Zod, one lady just literally called out, "Save me, Superman!"
Yeah.
And the audience, they literally, well, not the audience, but the townsfolk.
Yeah.
They looked to Superman. They gave up hope until he showed back up. He was their rallying point. He was like their Christ. With him, we can win. We can conquer this bad guy. And when he had run off, they had given up hope. They were like, well, I guess we have to kneel in front of Zod, kind of thing. Yeah. Even the president had that. He kneeled before Zod until he realized that Superman was still around. He's like, well, Superman, help me, please. Everyone needed him. He was like the Christ-like figure. I really enjoyed watching this movie with everybody else. We appreciate you for checking out the movie night. This has been Jason from RCR, Hammer Time Holshoe, and Rockin' Robbie. Please subscribe, comment below, let us know what you think of Superman 2 and some of the Christ-like themes and the theme of sacrifice, or just what you like in the movie in general. And thumbs up the video. Check us out on popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts and more. And like us on Facebook, and check us out on Instagram and Twitter as well, at The PCP Show.